in his red coat, all spit and polished, and he says,
Where would you be going?
Well, I'm going to the Klondike to look at your gold fields, if there really is any.
Not with this gambling gear and those revolvers. Men don't wear pistols in Canada.
Canada be damned. I'm going to the Klondike.
The Klondike is Canada. Pack those pistols in your saddlebags or get back to U.S. territory.
I'm an American. You can't do this to me.
In that case, I'll be lenient. We'll keep this gambling gear, and you'll be back in the United States by sundown.
he never drew no gun. I could have shot that guy right there. Who was he anyway?
Superintendent Sam Steele of the Northwest Mounted Police.
Why didn't I shoot him? Damn it.
In the days of the gold rush, a policeman, Sam Steele, became a legend of the Klondike.
I don't know. Why didn't I shoot him?
Hey folks, Rob Daniels here for the movie, TV, and video game soundtrack program Visions in Sound. That can be found every Saturday morning, 12 to 2 a.m. on Mix 98.5. And if you miss the show, which, does happen, you can find me on visionsinsound.ca. And if you're also interested, my girlfriend Tamara's show, The Dark Side with Madame Ravencroft, is also on the website as well. So yeah, here we are, week 42. Amazing. Just trucking along to only 10 weeks to go before the big day on June 7th, 2025. So yeah, this week I do break with the 80s kick tradition that I had and decided to do something a little bit different. And that is a Western. Now, I don't do Westerns very often because it's a favorite genre of mine, but not a hugely favorite genre of mine. So it's not like I'm going to go out of my way to watch a Western. But this one, I think I might. I'm talking about the 2010 Canadian film Gunless, with music by Greg Keillor. So this is the story of the Montana kid who comes to Canada, the Dominion, as they put it, the Dominion of Canada, by mistake, and ends up in the little town of Barclays Brush. And this is kind of your typical microcosm of Canadian stuff. It's pretty cool. And it's not often that there is a Canadian Western, because there's a lot of Western Canada in Western Canada, so to speak. Alberta, huge place. Anyway, if you haven't been there, definitely go. I have. It's a nice place. Anyway, so yeah, the music here done by Greg Keillor is fantastically done. Really well put together. Definitely, if you listen to it right off the beginning, it definitely has that Ennio Morricone kind of feeling to it. And then it kind of turns into maybe a little bit of a ballad. But have a listen. So that's pretty cool. I really like this opening track. It gives you all those Western feels, very simply, very straightforward. And then it goes into kind of this ballad, which pops up fairly regularly throughout the entire score. Have a listen here.
It can all be lost in the blink of an eye. With the law on your heels, gun by your side, there's a tombstone waiting with your name inscribed. But they'll never take you alive. Under those wild mountain skies.
I mean, what needs to be said about this particular score? It has all of the elements of a Western score, all the Ennio Morricone kind of feelings to it, all of that kind of Western, those Western tropes that show up in it. You know, the banjo, that kind of stuff. So it's very sparsely orchestrated, but at the same time, it works so well in that particular vein. And have a bit more of a listen here. There's some really good vocal work here by Jim Cuddy, but you've also got Greg Keelor's music as well.
No one understands a wanted man, 'cause you live by code, known by the ghosts of the dead, and you gotta keep moving with that price on your head. Still no time for a friend, when any stranger could be the end. There was a time when you believed, when everything was springtime green, before you learned that life was mean and nothing's ever what it seemed.
So yeah, not a film I would have necessarily have put on my list, but definitely one that I definitely want to check out in the future, and something you should check out in the future. So, with that in mind, if you're interested in any of the film, television, or video game music that I do play, you can catch my show every week 12 to 2 a.m. on Mix 98.5. And if you miss the show, which does happen, you can check out my website, visionsinsound.ca. I am on Blue Sky these days. Check out at visionsinsound.bsky.social. I can also be found on GoodPods, a downloadable app for your phone or other type devices, and I can also be found on many of the other podcatchers that are out there, including the likes of Apple Music. Now, Gimli, close by, kind of over here, is kind of having his snooze, which he does from time to time, but he's not saying too much. What are you saying about what's coming up? He says like, share, and subscribe. Definitely get out there and check out some great scores, including this movie and this score. The score done by Greg Keeler. If you haven't heard the name, definitely check it out. It is definitely worth it, especially if you're into the Western genre of scoring. It's pretty cool. So in that case, have yourself a great day. Oh, by the way, I know we're going through tough times, and this particular movie deals with kind of Canadian and American relations and what happens when an American comes into Canada. In any case, if you're having trouble, by all means, call 911 for immediate help. You can also dial or text 988 for the suicide hotline. You can also try 1-844-HERE247 or HERE247.ca. They all offer ways of getting help if you or someone you know may be suffering from mental health issues. So with that in mind, have yourself a great day. Bye for now.